And tonight's training is very appropriate because it's one lesson that I really had to work at. Planning, organisation, making the best out of the hours I've got was not my forte. It was not my number one skill, and it's something I've had to work hard at. And anybody that knows me still knows I struggle with time management and things like that. So let's have a look, okay, at tonight's training, and we will crack on. Okay, so you should there be able to see a picture of a yearly planner. Okay, excellent. And as it says there, failing to plan is planning to fail. All right, that's a term that you're going to get used to. You're going to hear a lot if you stick around at the seminars and the meetings. So, whose plan are you working? I'm quite sure that some of you are in work at the moment. You've got jobs, okay? And whether you realize it or not, you are working to a plan, whether it's your boss's plan, whether it's your company's plan, whether it's your employer's plan, but you are working to somebody's plan. The days that you attend, the hours you work, when you can take your breaks, when you can't take your breaks, when you can have your holidays, when you can't have your holidays, whether it clashes with somebody else's, is all to do with a master plan. It's all to do with a CEO, Chief Executive Officer, or a corporate, or shareholders, or somebody, and what you do with your time is working towards their plan. If you don't have a job, if you're out of work and you're unemployed, then you have a plan every day for how you're going to spend your time, whether it's written down or whether it's actually put on paper, or whether you actually know what you're doing, whether you're heading forward with purpose, or whether you're just meandering through the day. Each day you wake up and say, what am I going to do today? And you create yourself some kind of plan. So whose plan are you working right now? Are you working towards your own goals, your own dreams, your own ambitions, or are you working for your employers? You see, I'm going to tell you a little story. Now, Jack here in the yellow cap is a hard-working, hard-grafting employee, and that bloke there put his arm around Jack, and he took Jack in a car drive up to the hills, where he pointed out to Jack this beautiful house, and he says, "Do you know what, Jack?" He says, "You keep turning up at 7 o'clock in the morning. You keep working as hard as you are. You keep working to put food on the table, a roof over your head, and you keep working all the hours that you possibly can, and you keep doing what you've been doing year in, year out, right up to the age of 65, and one day, mate, one day, that place will be mine." Because like I say, you're either working on your own plan or you're working on somebody else's. Because somebody has goals, somebody has dreams, and if you don't, then you're just working to achieve someone else's. You see, we all have 24 hours a day. We all have 7 days a week. We all have 365 days in a year. So why is it some people seem to make more use of their time than others? Why is it when we talk to people and say, you need to do this, you need to do that, it's a good idea to retail so many times a day, it's a good idea to attend the workshops, it's a good idea to make time for the webinars, they often say, I don't have time, I can't fit it in. The thing is, like I said, we all have the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not that a person doesn't have time, it's how you prioritize the time that you have. What's important to you? I understand you've worked all day, you've put your time in for somebody else, and when you come home at night, the last thing you want to do is start working for yourself. Quite often people put their feet up, watch TV, say, do you know what, I've had enough, that's it, I can't be bothered. But it's when you look outside, if you're cataloguing and see it raining and think, am I still going to go out and do the work I have to do today? Or it's when you pick up your laptop and you see people talking on Facebook, it's do I get involved in the chat or do I start posting some products in groups? Some people can do both, but what I'm saying is, do you get distracted by people that's gaming or do you get distracted by people who's earning? All right, you've got to decide. Another example is let's just say, for example, you don't have time to go out there and deliver the products when you said you were going to deliver them. However, your son, your child, some close family member has had an accident and found themselves in hospital. All of a sudden you make the time to go see them, even though you don't have time to do other things. So it's not that you don't have the time, it's what are your priorities at that moment in time. And it comes down to discipline. And discipline is doing what you said you were going to do long after the feeling in which you said you were going to do it has long disappeared. So that's why it's important to have goals. That's why it's important to know where you're going, because if the why is strong enough, the how is easy. So create yourself a to-do list. It doesn't have to be a complicated plan. It doesn't have to be a master plan. Just before you go to bed each night, just write on your to-do list all the things that you need to do the next day. Okay? Number them. All right? And put everything down, because you're not going to get everything completed on your to-do list. You won't get everything done. So what you've got to do is just put off till tomorrow the things that you don't get done, and just accept that you don't complete everything. However, what you do need to do is prioritize. And this is a fantastic quadrant to help you prioritize what's important and what's not important. And this quadrant has come from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which I will talk about a bit more later on. So in your first quadrant, you've got important but not urgent. So it's things that have to be done, but it doesn't have to be done straight away. So what you've got to do is decide when it does have to be done by. So anything on your to-do list that's important but not urgent, you put in that quadrant. Anything that's important and urgent, you put in the next quadrant, and that's the do it now. It has to be done today. The next one is not important and not urgent. Okay, these things can be delegated to somebody else, such as if the door needs fixing, or the fence needs fixing, or something in the garden needs doing. So many a time I'll say to somebody, are you coming to a workshop? Oh no, I've got to fix the pothole in the drive. Is it important? Is it urgent? Could it be delegated? Could you get someone in? Well, if you're earning a damn sight more money, you could be. You know what I mean? You don't have to do these jobs yourself. That's just an example. I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong, but it's just an example of what's not important and what's not urgent. Okay? You've then got not important, not urgent. Dump it. If it's not important and is urgent, okay, then delegate it to someone else. Sorry, I misread that. Okay, so if it's not important, if it's not urgent, forget about it. It's not going to make a difference to nothing. Okay, so remember, write your to-do list before you go to bed. Dump what's going around in your mind on paper so that you can rest and sleep and get a full night's rest. And then prioritize your list so that you know what has to be done first and what isn't that urgent. The things that you need to focus on, particularly if you're wanting to make extra money, is the income producing activities. These are the things that are urgent and important. Number 1, we need to be retailing some form of product. It doesn't matter whether it's a little or a lot, but you need to be moving product in order for anybody to make any money. If there's nobody buying our products, then there's no customers, there's no money changing hands, and nobody's making any money, full stop. Okay, so you need to be moving product either through delivering and collecting catalogs or through posting on buy and sell groups and within your own group. And whether you're doing Facebook or catalogs, everybody should have their own group on Facebook. Lead generation. The only way this business expands is by sharing it with other people. So if you're serious about increasing your income to anything of a substantial amount, i.e. over £1,000 a month part-time, then you need to be generating inquiries, you need to be generating leads. And whether you're doing that through Facebook or through the ad pool or through whatever other sources of social media, however you're generating leads, if you're spending some time every single day focused on getting more and more inquiries, then you're putting your productivity into things that will increase your income. The other thing is making the phone calls and appointments. It's all right generating inquiries, but if you're not showing those inquiries how they can earn an extra income or how they can change their lifestyle, then it's an absolute waste of time. You can have a bucket of leads, but if you don't show them anything, they're not going to join the business, they're not going to make money for themselves, and in turn, that's not going to increase your income either. And finally, anything to do with helping and supporting and helping somebody learn more about this business is massively going to help their income and in turn affect your income as well. So any time spent talking to people, any time spent coaching people or helping somebody learn anything new, you are not wasting your time, because it's about leveraging your time. If you have lots of people that can do a little bit, it means that you don't have to do it all. I believe it was Henry Ford who said, I would rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. Okay, so if you're not working to a planner, where can you get a planner? Well, if you go to the 10 Steps resource site and click on Get Started Catalogs or Get Started Online, there is a weekly planner that you can download. And you just click on the button, it gets downloaded as a Word document, and you can edit and format that document as you see fit. When filling in your planner, guys, it's really, really important to put your education on there first. Okay, I would say that goes above your job. All right, if you've got to work, you've got to work. But if there's a webinar, if there's some form of training that you can attend, I seriously recommend you attend it. People say to me, do I have to attend the webinars? They're just the same. Do I have to go to the workshops and things like that? Well, my answer to that is this, simply. If you already knew how to earn £1,000 a month in your spare time, working part-time from home, if you already knew how to do that, or you know how to do that, why the hell aren't you doing it then? And if you're not doing it and you want to, it's because you don't have the education, the knowledge or the skills in order to be able to do that just yet. So the only way you're going to get the knowledge, the skills and the ability to have what you want, because obviously you'd already have it if you had those skills, is by educating yourself through workshops, through webinars and personal development. Okay, it's the only way it's going to happen. The only way. So you've got to decide, how important is it to you what you want? Are you going to walk away from it and say, oh, I can't be bothered, it really don't matter, in which case it's a wish and not a desire? Or are you going to commit to making it happen for yourself and learning how to make it happen? Okay. Once you've put your education down on that planner, the next thing you need to look at is when you just cannot do your business. So maybe it's a school run, maybe you've got a job, you've got work in there, you've got shifts. Plan out as much time as you know where you're already committed to other things, and then that will leave what time you have left available. The one thing I haven't put on there is work. Sorry about that, it's because I haven't worked for a long time. I don't mean that flippantly, but I just never even thought about work. But put on there work, okay, and see what time you've got left available. Also remember, you do have a family, okay? Now, this is your choice. How much time you spend with your family is entirely up to you. However, you can work extremely hard for 4 to 5 years, or even less now. You can work extremely hard for 3 to 5 years and then retire for the rest of your life. So look at how old your children are now and what they will be in 3 to 5 years' time. Or you can play at this thing, work for a boss for 45 years, see how old your children are then, and then you can play with them when you retire. You see, it's either long-term, it's either immediate gratification where you put You know, you have all your fun now. You do everything you want to do now, which is absolutely fine. It's your choice. It's your life. You do what you want. Okay, nobody's going to judge you or criticize you for it. It's whatever you want. So you can have all the fun now and then be struggling later on. Or you can work hard now for a very short period of time and have lots of fun later on. It's called delayed gratification. But you need a balance. Okay, you need a balance between the lot. And that's up to you to decide what you're happy to do and what you're not happy to do. And if you need help and advice with that, then talk it through with your sponsor, because they will give you the best advice for what you require. Couple of books here to help you with time management. If you struggle with time management, okay, Eat That Frog, absolutely fantastic book. All right, like it says, 21 great ways to stop procrastinating and get more done in less time. I was going to read that today, but I thought I'd put it off till tomorrow. However, okay, there is a fantastic book, and I have read it. It's brilliant. The next one is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where the quadrant came from. Again, it's another fantastic book, over 25 million copies sold. Do I make money if you buy these books? No, not at all. I've bought the books, and and yes, I made money by buying the books myself. So will you make money by buying the books? Yes, you will, if you apply what you learn in it. Okay, if you make the little changes, if you make the differences, it will make a massive impact on your finances, your stress levels, which will then roll down into your family, and it'll make a big difference to your family as well. Okay, I'm sure your kids would love to see less stressed parents, especially with less financial worries. You see, and the other thing is, don't make mistake that movement for achievement. Okay, don't make the mistake of movement for achievement. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're busy doing the right things. Okay, so focus again on what you're busy on. Are they income generating activities, or is it admin? Is it shuffling papers? Is it doing things that aren't really important? Because we all have 24 hours a day. It's how you spend those 24 hours a day, guys. Okay, so a goal without a plan is just a wish. If you have no idea how you're going to get there, you need the goal first of all, and the plan often reveals itself. But if you don't have some kind of strategy to achieve what you want, it's only just a wish. And again, failing to plan is planning to fail. And I like this bit. Hope is not a plan. Crossing your fingers, hoping for the best, wishing it'll all go away, burying your head in the sand, it does not work. Okay, so decide what you want, how you're going to get it, and with our help, support and training, have the faith, believe in yourself to know it's guaranteed, it's in the bag. You've just got to implement a few little strategies that we're here to help you with. All right, thanks very much, guys. Thanks for listening to the training, and I will hand you back to Karen.